For Hunter.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker, and I acknowledge both the statement from the Trade Minister and his outstanding service to this parliament and elsewhere, but I'll have a little more to say about him at a later date, when, of course, he's not so much the friendly combatant still sitting in the cabinet. I'd like to begin my contribution by dealing with speculation that I was given the privilege to talk about the Deputy Prime Minister because I understand most on my side how members of the National Party think. I totally reject that. I totally deny that. But rather I sought the opportunity to speak for a number of reasons, four amongst them: one, because I respect him; two, because I like him; three, of course, as a rural member myself, we share a passion for rural and regional policy; and four, because I think I'm in the minority now. I'm one of those people that have been around here for a couple of decades, which means I've served for, not all of course, but for most of the time he's been here. The party Warren Truss leads is just shy of 100 years. I think that's correct. And any member of this place, and indeed the broader community, has to respect a party which has enjoyed such longevity, and therefore, by definition, we should respect anyone who has had the opportunity, or indeed will have the opportunity, to lead such a party. The next leader, of course, is yet to be tested, but we will see how that runs after about 8 p.m. Tonight. But in Warren Truss's case, of course, it goes without saying that he has been respected across the political divide here, not just because he has led a political party, but because he has earned that respect across the dispatch box and across the parties more generally. Warren Truss, as I said, is a good man who I believe has always tried his very, very best to put good public policy on equal ranking, if not ahead, of good politics. And I think that's something that's increasingly important in this place, but I also think it's something that's caused him to build that significant trust and respect across the chamber. I also think it's a good time for the Deputy Prime Minister to move on. He's had a good innings. He leaves at a good age, still young enough to do fun things, I've no doubt, and I hope and trust he leaves with good health and therefore an opportunity to spend many good years with wife Lynn and the rest of the family. I believe very genuinely too, and this is not designed to be a political point, I hope people don't take it as such, it is also true that we live in a fast-changing world, a world indeed of rapid change. And as times change, politics will also change, both economically and socially. And that is particularly true in rural and regional Australia, which in my view sort of plays catch-up a little with our capital cities as they become, if you like, more progressive. And expectations in rural and regional Australia are on the rise. They are expecting more from our politicians, or their politicians, than transactional politics and the spin they too often hear. And that's a challenge for not only members of the National Party, but a challenge for all of us that represent rural and regional seats. So I'm not saying for a moment that Warren Truss hasn't been capable of new and innovative thinking. He has. But certainly this is a challenging time when the expectations are much higher and people are expecting a much higher standard of public debate. They want to see us working better together and thinking at a higher level, putting some of the politics, the transactional politics behind, and developing good policy, good progressive policy, structural change and transformational politics rather than transactional politics. Warren Truss didn't lead the party of Black Jack McEwen, no more than the new leader won't lead the party of Doug Anthony, Ian Sinclair, John Anderson, people of that era. The new leader will have to be a different leader. The new leader will have to be a more progressive leader with respect to the Deputy Prime Minister, who led at a different time. The new leader will have to take a far more open and progressive approach to some of the big structural issues that confront rural and regional Australia. And again, the new leader will have to show some capacity to inspire people living in rural and regional Australia, to show them that he or she understands that our society and our economy is changing and new responses are necessary. So in addition to wishing the Deputy Prime Minister well, I also wish well the person who will succeed him. He or she will have big challenges ahead of them, challenges which will be best met with new higher level thinking and thinking that tackles the real structural changes we face in rural and regional Australia. I thank the House.
I thank the member for Hunter.